रितेश लाका हम आप लोगों के लिए काफी इंफॉर्मेटिव एंड एक्साइटिंग कंटेंट लेके आ रहे हैं. We have invited a lot of wedding experts and we'll make sure that we'll keep these videos short. चले, let's go. So that's our guest for today, DJ Regge. 18 years of experience and 14 countries, 2,000 plus events, 1,000 plus weddings. I think maybe around 500 odd destination weddings.
I've lived a long life.
No. You're pretty young, and that's amazing. So numbers tells everything. So DJ, I just want to start the conversation with a simple question that 18 years in this business, in this profession, and back then I don't think so it was very easy career option for you, because I also started my career at the similar time, and we never thought anything other than engineering or being a doctor or CA, or maybe if you
Definitely not into entertainment.
Yes. So how it all started, and if you can just tell us about your story.
So it actually honestly happened by accident. I was always fond of music, but I had this random opportunity of playing some music for a few friends at a New Year party. Fortunately, I had some good music on me because I was, like I told you, I was kind of collecting music also. And I happened to switch some songs. I'm not going to use the word DJ at a party. I just happened to switch some music. It got good response, and one thing led to another, and I actually performed for the same family again later without any technical knowledge, but again just on the right music sense, let's say. And then I actually took it to learning my technicals from an academy. I put time into it, even though my family was not up for it, because at that time, back in 2005 and 6, DJing it didn't exist. Nobody knew that this was really a profession or it had any scope. Leave the glamour part of it aside, because there was, even to glamorize it, there was not much happening. But when you're crazy about something, you will do what it takes. And I think I pretty much fit into that category well. I pursued it for a couple of years as my passion.
That's your passion, which is...
It's also in my name, right? So Regge is my surname.
Okay.
It's not some funky word that I've come up with. Regge is my surname. So we've just kind of, molded it a little bit to suit my work as well.
Yeah. So actually, when first I heard about you, DJ Regge, I thought must be a stage name or something. Yeah.
No, it's my surname.
Okay, great.
But the right things happened at the right time. I got some right opportunities, and I've been lucky with being at the right places at the right time, without telling you too much. So I've been lucky with that, and then slowly and steadily, I turned that passion into my business. It still remains my number one passion and will always be. But I've flipped it into the business side of it as well. Because we have to be realistic,
and nothing better than that.
And of course, nothing better than your passion being your day-to-day life. I do it with just the same amount of enthusiasm and love and excitement like I did it back in 2017 when I actually started professionally doing things. I still do it with that much excitement. I'm equally nervous about every show, every day, even now. The smallest, biggest doesn't matter. Like even if I have to perform for 10 people, I'm equally nervous. Even if I have to do a show for 2,000 people, I'm equally nervous. So nothing has changed. The only thing is we get to travel to some nice destinations without having to pay for the ticket. We were taken care of. It's a lot of fun, 2-3 day long parties. Get to meet new people, new places, work with new people all the time. It's good, buddy.
Yeah,
Great.
Okay, so tell me something like so how did you start? Like, did you do any course in DJing?
Yes, so I did learn technicals. So see, like every anything that you study, even let's say medical or engineering, there's always the base, the roots, the practical that you need to know, and then you implement it. Whatever you are professionally in. So similarly, even with DJing, there's a lot of theory you need to know. not books to read, but just basics. I mean, there's a little bit of physics involved. There's, understanding waveforms, understanding how you mix, why you mix, where you mix, all these things. But the most important part of it is that music has to be, loved from within. Because eventually, no matter how you mix, where you mix, all these eventually all depends on what you play. So till you don't feel that music, till you don't enjoy that music from within, and that playlisting doesn't come from your heart, you will learn whatever, it doesn't matter. So, but I still, of course, I needed the technical knowledge, and I learned at a very basic level. It's one of those things that if you can drive the most basic car manual without auto steering or auto power, then you can drive any car.
Yes.
It's like that. So we learned a very basic equipment, and because of that, today, fortunately, you give me anything. I know the basics. I know the theory, so I know how to implement it on any sort of console. So that's I did my technical learnings from an institute in Pune. And then from there, slowly, steadily, now I don't use the same console anymore. I use a laptop. But again, the basics are the same.
Correct.
So anybody who wants to, a lot of people ask me, like, do you teach and you want to learn? I always tell them that don't start from a laptop. Like, learn the basics, because eventually the base funda is the same, right? Anything you do. Similarly, you drive a car, you want to become a doctor, what are the basics will always remain the same.
Correct.
So I did learn from a friend back in 2006.
Okay.
And the learning is still on.
Obviously, learning never stops.
So, DJ, can you just tell us,
how you started weddings? So you started weddings first, or started doing clubbing first? How what?
So I actually started with private event entertainment first, because at that point it was all about just people who knew you, who were giving me small opportunities. So I think one of the first shows I had played for was somebody's 10th standard passing out party or 12th standard passing out party. That small a gathering, but one thing led to another, and then I started doing clubs and bars and pubs in the city. And I was playing at Thousand Oaks on MG Road for, I think I was there for about 9 years, so 2009 to 2018. But eventually, the weddings started. The good big weddings started somewhere in 2016, where again for some private events I had gone to Bombay, and then there was a couple who heard me at that some builder's private party in some fancy penthouse in Bandra. And there was a couple who saw me and they really liked the music. And then they had their wedding that year in June in Goa. So that, I think, was my first ever big, destination wedding where somebody's flying me down to another city, especially for those 2 days. And we're covering the whole 2-day wedding. And it was, and the thing is that first wedding itself has such a big impact on me. The day one party went on till some 4:35 in the morning.
Wow.
Day two went on till 7:30 in the morning.
My God.
And all day also they had other events. And that was my first experience with, 2 days, 4 events, back-to-back stuff, no sleep. And, it was some very big names who are very big now, but they were like just regular people for us at that wedding. And, it was great hospitality. You were taken care of. Plus we're getting paid well to just come and perform 2 days. It was fabulous. So after that, I realized, boss, this is like my calling. This is where I belong. So after that, my count as clubs and this thing kind of went a little low.
Okay.
But because I was doing so much more of destination weddings and, shows, private event entertainment across places. So that's where the wedding thing began. And after, once I think the wedding market is very, it depends on word of mouth. You do one great show, 10 people talk about it, 5 planners will discuss within themselves, and automatically that word spreads. And that's exactly what happened with me. Right? It's some good weddings, some good performances, and it was overall, it's always a team game. So everything was right in those weddings. The planner, everything was fabulous. So automatically, we one step at a time, but we started doing bigger, better work. And then whatever you mentioned earlier, all those countries and everything happened. But I've been blessed with some good people in my life who always supported and put the word and the name ahead, which really matters, And so no matter how good you are, these back-end unannounced team that people have,
Correct.
that always plays a point.
That's it. Yeah.
So I always been blessed with some good people in my life.
So when you say, you started with clubbing first and, private events, then clubbing and then, the weddings. So I just want to understand what is the difference when you play for a club, when you play for, when you play for a wedding or when you play for a small social event. So what is the difference?
See, in a club, now every club that invites me to play is basically calling me for a 1-2 hour set. I go, I showcase what I've been called for, play that set, and of course, see the difference between clubs or any sort of private events is who you're playing for. In a club, people have come to hear you. In a private event, you're there for that audience. So there's a difference in the playlisting. There's difference in the kind of music you play. There's a difference in the kind of remixes you play, or you play originals. All these matter depending on what sort of a event it is. Even see, a club you say is, first of all, a private event is one certain invited group.
Correct.
So it's like it's a personal event, right? So everybody knows everybody. So it's a different flow that you have to maintain.
Correct.
Because you're playing for that family, for that group, for that occasion. Whatever it could be. It could be somebody's 18 years old, it's a birthday. It could be somebody's 25th anniversary. It could be a 50th birthday. It could be anything.
Right.
So there's an agenda, there's a theme, there's all these things you have to follow, and there's somebody's favorite song because it's a couple or somebody's celebrating a big day. So there are different, agendas to follow in a private event. But when it comes to a club, you're playing for a sea of people. Nobody's connected. Everybody's doing their different tables, different section. And their agenda is to come and enjoy that Saturday night at this club with the music that the club is offering. So I will go there and I will showcase my 2-hour performance. Of course, keeping a certain theme in mind depending on the club. Like if it's a club which does not play Bollywood, I won't go and do that. So I'll probably play more of hip hop or more of club and commercial music. But that's what is going to be. So they will hear what I play. Of course, some requests here and there. There are always some friends who lined up. There are always owners and there are some requests coming, but that's 5% maybe or lesser. But usually it's about I come, showcase my skills for 2 hours. Of course, we do the best that we can and we exit.
Okay.
But a private event is I have come for somebody's private celebration.
Correct.
So the music has to match what they want with my expertise and my inputs in it.
Correct.
So that's the difference between how my performance switches between a club and a private event.
And what about weddings? So is it different from a private?
Again, so no, see, private event now is that one evening. Let's just example, this is 25th anniversary. That's that one evening and it's over.
Correct.
When it comes to a destination wedding, 2 days, sometimes 3 days, you're the only DJ who's playing for, I'm the one music contact for all the events. So there's a mehndi. Let's say you start with a mehndi welcome party, whatever. There's the sangeet. There's an after party. The next day morning will probably be an haldi. Will probably be a barat. Then the wedding, reception, after party. So just all these events. Then you have to segregate with every theme. Like say mehndi has a theme. Welcome party has a theme. Guests are just coming. There's a lot of thought that goes into a residential wedding. Guests are just coming in. So you have to give them time to be welcomed, to meet each other. It can't be a rager. It can't be, of course, you can reach there later. But again, there's a boho theme, let's just say. So again, there's music which has to go according to that
According to the theme.
Kind of keep it different. Then Sangeet always is usually Bollywood. People perform. Most of the songs, a lot of songs get played there. Then there's the after party, but it's after the Sangeet, so it's more Bollywood. You keep it more on the Bollywood Indian lines. Next day, let's see, is the haldi. There's a different selection.
Correct.
Then the barat is more like rowdy and boyish sort of thing. So you keep a different selection for that. Then wedding again, depending on if the DJs are playing something or not, or there's a lot of times there's just easy instrumental music, or there are now live artists who do wedding background. And there's reception, which is more on the English side of things. First dance and, there's a welcome and all of these things. Speeches. So eventually that's more of a westernized concept. So automatically the theme and everything, we're also in suits and all. So the theme is automatically a little more English, more Western. And then we go to the after party, which we usually, because day one after party has been Bollywoodish. So day two, we try and do it more of Western music, club music, commercial, English, rock and roll, retro. So that's how the vision for a 2-day wedding is very different compared to a one-shot private party. So here we have to kind of segregate music So because see, repetitions happen because everybody wants to hear the favorites again. But we try and keep every event differently, different vibe, different selection of music, different level of energy, all these things. Again, a lot of them the MC, there was activity happened. So different things. So the prep and the patience that you have to keep in our 2 day destination wedding is very different. So it's much more, a lot more hard work, but it's equal amount of fun when you treat it with fun. That's what makes it easier when you treat it like it's fun. If you take it like a project, and if we go all stressed, hey, there's 2 days, you're gonna go crazy, 6 events in 2 days, then it's gonna it's gonna affect your work. But for us, we're the kinds, or my team is the kind that for us we try and be a part of that family, feel how they are enjoying these 2 days, play according to them what they like. So and everybody is couple of them aren't going to be in the same city; they're from different parts of the world. So the kind of music they like, they listen to is also a challenge for us to adapt to, learn, gather, put it together, then fuse our Indian playlists around it because families are from here, there, everywhere. So there's a lot of work that goes into it compared to a regular, just a one-shot private party.
So I also sometimes have this question in my mind. When you're playing for a wedding, because when you're playing for a club, there's a certain kind of people go to that particular club.
Yes,
For example, if there's a club which doesn't play Bollywood, so the people who do not like Bollywood, maybe they're not the audience there. Okay. But here in a wedding, what happens is like variety of crowd.
Yes.
So that age group is also like
all
even the Dadaji will also be there.
From kids to
everything. The youngest person in the family also will be there, and everybody would like to be on the dance floor. Nice. So how do you guys? I wouldn't say only you, but how like the entire DJ fraternity? How do you ensure that everybody is enjoying, everybody is dancing?
So first of all, it all starts with research and putting time into discussions with the couple to first of all know what sort of uh, crowd are we looking at. So whenever I lock in a wedding, we just don't take the money and then okay, these are the tickets and we'll land up. No, it's not. It's a lot of discussion. Like if you see my phone, you will just see WhatsApp groups of me with this couple, this date, this city. You will see right now probably we have about 60, 70 bookings for the season. So you will see that many groups on my phone. But when we discuss from the sort of age group that's going to be there, how many of that age group. So let's say if there are times when half the family is older people, let's say 50 plus, it's important for us to know that because that's the kind of music that we gather.
Correct.
Then again, the demographic, where are people coming from? If a lot of them are from the north side of India, then we know the kind of music they're going to like, they're going to want.
Correct.
So these discussions are very important, and me and my team put a lot of time and effort into knowing our audience beforehand. Also, what we discuss is the kind of music the families love, the bride and groom, what music they love, because eventually, my trick to filling a floor is if the family is there, everybody else joins in.
Correct.
So if tomorrow the host is only not interested, the host is only not having a good time, how do you expect that other plus people will, and that's the oldest trick for me. If the host is on the floor and having a great time, automatically everybody comes in and they only pull in. So they only do the job for you. But for that, you have to first pull them in on the floor. And what happens is in a destination wedding, you have, it's pretty hectic. You have 4 or 5 events over 2 days.
Correct.
By the time you reach the last event, people are exhausted because 2 days non-stop, sometimes place where it's hot, let's say Goa and all. It's not always Goa. I don't know, Goa rarely sees winters, but it's hot. Some events are out in the open under the sun, so you get exhausted after 2 days of partying and dancing all around, all these things. And again, getting dressed, all that makeup. I'm sure it's tiring.
Correct.
So by the end of day 2 is the real challenge to still keep people on the floor. But that's where all this work comes into play.
Correct.
Like I told you, let's say day 2 reception and after party is more retro-ish and all. But if it's not an English retro listening crowd,
Correct.
there's no point me prepping on that. I would rather prep on some Hindi, old school music, rock and roll, Shammi Kapoor, which I know that mature or older audience is going to like. Because eventually the young ones will enjoy most of. But for us, the trick is to make sure the rest of the family also enjoys it. So we do put in that time and effort into knowing, okay, what the family is going to like. So now the thanks to these apps like Spotify and all that, the couples send us their favorites.
Follow us and stay tuned for part 2.